Is the upcoming Final Shape reveal event make or break for Destiny 2 and Bungie? The answer is yes, thank you. Nah, I'm just kidding, of course, but this kind of has been the case for years now. The commonly hurled sentiment around the community is that the expansion in question, is once again the final straw for the franchise, and it's getting a little tiring at this point, and I say that with full understanding that I've also been there,
Here I come.
regurgitating the lies to myself and to others, knowing full well I'll come crawling back.
This is ridiculous. What is going on in here? We get crack at the end?
We've all been there with each yearly release, so by that logic, the Final Shape is no different.
Or is it?
While I think, speaking generally, the reveal and the subsequent expansion carry the usual weighty expectations of the beautiful Destiny 2 fanbase, this expansion just does kind of feel like more. I mean, of course it is, it's the end of the saga, so to speak, but we all know it's not going to end there. And we have the expected low community morale, content burnout, ennui around the repetitive seasonal model, and the consistently outraged PvP community, rightfully so. Additionally, like I spoke about in my previous video, there is an element of franchise fatigue setting in for some. I can definitely speak for myself in that category at least. The Final Shape represents a kind of pit stop for players, a moment to jump ship to freedom and shed the shackles of live service gaming forever. I previously likened it to that of the first phase of Avengers movies, Act 1. A long-winded, albeit well-made story that ended in such a way that viewers, such as myself, could just faithfully depart the ship and leave it for other people, future generations to enjoy. What I never spoke about in that video is the lukewarm and inconsistent response to Marvel's second act. With full-scale Marvel movies acting like Destiny's yearly expansions, TV shows taking the place of Destiny's seasonal storytelling model, and all of the previously released content representing the Destiny content vault. We have a lot of similarities here, in my opinion. But the important question here is, can Bungie convince you and I that Act 2 is worth sticking around for? My mind has, at least for the moment, been made up. I packed my bags, I sorted my affairs, and I'm planning ahead for what my life will be like after Destiny 2. But even having said that, there is still something.
Something that niggles. If I try to ignore it, it tickles me gently from behind and whispers my name. If I try to look it in the eye and demand answers, it scuttles away from me, only to resurface later, tickling tool in hand. I know what it is, and it's
Bungie's superpower. It's Bungie's ability to just make you say, but what if? What if the Final Shape story climatises our journey perfectly? What if Bungie introduces a seasonal model that towers above what we have already experienced in the game so far? What if they introduced a Forge mode, removing the need for Destiny 2 maps to be created in the first place because the power is in the arms of the players now? What if they reorganize content into an understandable, single purchase for new players and structure the free-to-play content in a worthwhile way? What if they break all community expectations and announce Destiny 3, coming in 2 years with an updated engine and promises to not repeat the mistakes made when transitioning from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, for example? What if the inconceivable happens and they bring back, sparrow horns?
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
And yes, most, if not all of that is never going to happen.
Ever.
But no matter how many rational arguments I hear, no matter how much past Bungie behavior and content I have to compare to, and no matter how hard I tell myself it's over, it's time to move on, the Bungie hype machine whirls back into action and just makes me think to myself, what if?
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
A minor optimistic opinion you may have heard floating around the sandstorm of hate that was generated by the latest State of the Game post by Bungie is that perhaps Bungie just didn't reveal much positive news because they didn't want to ruin the hype machine potential for the August showcase, but also to just clear the air of all bad news for the upcoming future. In this way, Bungie have facilitated a sort of purging of bad news and cleared the internet's airwaves for nothing but untreated, crude hype in August. Of course, this only makes sense if you're an optimist, something quite rare around this community. But what am I saying right now? What's the point of this video? And honestly, when I started, I didn't really know. Like my previous video, it kind of felt like everything that's worth saying about Destiny 2 at the moment is just being said by someone, somewhere, with a lot more subscribers. But that doesn't mean I don't have an opinion. And my opinion is that this August showcase represents the usual watershed moment for Bungie. But this isn't just any watershed. This is the watershed moment. Community sentiment is at an all-time low. Bungie have shared their studio plans going forward with the reveal of Marathon, and if Bungie expects players to stick around for the year after the final shape, they need to deliver something, because why else would I play? Lightfall, by and large, was a failure, I think. I had a lot of fun with it, don't get me wrong. I played the crap out of it. And judging by the sale numbers and player counts, it was a successful launch for Bungie. But I repeat, it was a failure. Player sentiment is often bookended with the caveat that Lightfall was cut content for the final shape. That's going to be the real finale. That's where Bungie are really going to show us what this past decade has been for. That's the big guns. So this is it. This is the curtain pull. Bungie do not have any more runway ahead of them. If they want Destiny and its player base to fly off into the sunset in search of new adventures in 2024, they gotta show us what they got right now.
Show me what you got!
And I mean, when you think about it, we really don't know what Bungie is planning going forward. Almost nothing of importance at this stage. I mean, sure, there's going to be a seasonal model shake-up, in-game LFG, and some other minor content additions that we know about, but nobody knows if the newest expansion's being coupled with a season pass. Will the new era of Destiny include a location, character, gear reset? Will Destiny 2's gameplay loop change in any significant way? I mean, who the fuck knows? But what we do know is this is the big time. This is Bungie's 8 Mile moment. This is where the undecided decide, the fence-sitters start their strut, or the habitual haters choose if they're going to rearm for another year of feedback, or, just sink back into the arms of apathy. Whatever happens, see you on August 22nd, guys. Bye-bye.